or maybe worked in a corporate world. Our careers, they tend to be the way that we identify ourselves. Now, what happens when that identity is taken from you? We found ours in real estate. Now, let us help you find yours on the Free Agent Real Estate Investing Podcast, starting now.
Welcome to the Free Agent REI Podcast. I'm your host, Stratton Brown.
And I'm your other co-host, Michael Butler. Thank you guys for joining us again.
We were having a conversation before this. Flipping birds, dude. I thought about grabbing a bird,
flipping birds, flipping somebody off.
Hitting that good old Dave Ramsey.
You know what I'm saying? Just flipping the birds to life, entrepreneurship.
You didn't like your switching lanes, or did you want to?
I'm not talking about mine, bro.
Or you want to re-switch ours?
I think we should do something with ours. We talked about it before.
Oh, yeah. We don't even talk about real estate. We don't even talk about real estate no more.
Yeah. We do, but it's we talk about life, entrepreneurship, being parents, everything. So
I like flipping birds more. Yeah,
it's kind of tight, huh?
I like flipping birds more.
Shit. Hopefully, no one steals it.
Yeah,
we'll come up with some other shit.
Dirty bastards,
just in case.
All right. So today, I was listening to a podcast, My First Million. It's two dudes, both of them sold their company for 8 figures.
That's awesome.
Right. And so they're in the tech space.
Okay.
I said, how I've been listening to all these fucking different tech podcasts.
Yeah.
And so I was listening to their podcast, and their last one had 5 really good questions.
Yeah.
That I was like, man, we could riff off of this.
I heard 2 of them. Right? that's how good the 5 questions was.
Yeah.
2 kind of took a moment. Yeah.
Right. So
they stole my answers though.
All right, so let's go with the first one.
Yeah.
What area of my life am I settling in right now?
What areas in my life am I settling in right now?
That makes you think.
For sure. I mean, it's deep in a way, because you got to really reflect on what are you kind of just okay with, and you understand that you're being okay with, but you shouldn't be okay with. You want to answer it first, or you want me to answer it?
Oh man, I've been thinking about it. You can start.
I'll start off. Like I said, they stole my answers, man. I think first thing first is probably my fitness, my weight, my health. Obviously, the biggest excuse everyone always says is time, right? We're mature enough to understand that it ain't necessarily time. Everyone got time. So definitely, I think I'm settling when it comes to my health, even though I shouldn't be. I've acknowledged that. And so, for me, it's my health, it's my fitness, getting in a better routine, taking better care of myself, because it's one thing to sustain or create a life that we can do what we want to do and, live at our leisure and stuff like that. But if you're not healthy enough to really enjoy those moments or enjoy those things to the full capability of them, then it's all for nothing. So one thing that I would say that I am definitely settling in my life would be my fitness.
For me, what was it? I'm always fitness. And what really struck me, bro, is I'm putting energy into all these things. What am I actually focusing on and pushing forward with my own energy? Because now I can see it in buckets.
Yeah.
I'm all right, what are we pushing forward? So I'd say right now I'm in a super heavy work phase, but it's needed. And this is one thing that I've been trying. I'm not a big fan of work-life balance, to where some things will go fucking up, some things will go down, and it'll always weigh itself out. So I'm really heavy into the work, lack of fitness. I'm not as big on family right now, honestly, just because I've been working 7 a.m. till 9, and then coming home, eating, and then we'll go to sleep, and I'll just wake up, do my little thing, and then
I think it's huge to say that though, because I think everyone wants to portray I'm not settling when it comes to my family life and stuff like that. And I think, to be honest, a lot of us, that's one thing that we settle with is our family, because we get, especially entrepreneurs and just anyone that's a visionary or anyone that's a dreamer, got big goals and they got a, mean work ethic. That's one thing you're settling with is family time. And that's why. Yeah. That's why work-life balance is always a huge discussion for a lot of people, because we know that that's one thing that always, that seems to take the back burner,
Yes and no, because I'm a big fan. I'm a massive fan of Pace, and I think I love his output. right? Like in the way I mean by his output, like Pace's cadence is on a whole nother level. The output
Mm-hmm.
of shit that he gets done is on a whole nother level. And he legitimately wakes up earlier than majority of people I know,
Yep.
gets done a bunch of shit, spends time with family, works.
Yeah.
Right. To where like in all reality, it's are you present and like when we're there, are we there? And then
Mm-hmm.
communicating with my family, like, hey, I'm gonna go into a really, really big push for here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe for like 6 months. And then after that, we'll go back into like more family time where I'm coming home at like a decent time
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not like diving in all the time. But then again, I'm a really big fan of like strike when the iron's hot. If we
Mm-hmm.
have an opportunity or we need to work, one of those two things,
Yeah.
and like the iron's hot, bro, fucking
Mm-hmm.
go into it. And then if we are not going to be present again, make sure we're telling our significant other and our kids. Like I've been trying to bring Zeno with me like more everywhere I
Mm-hmm.
go, just because again, like I'm only going to get so much time with him again.
100%.
And then I'll even segue into this weekend. Jake with me to go speak at this conference.
Okay.
Um, and one of the speakers is 28 years old. His company last year did $130 million in revenue,
Okay.
and it's 4 years old, like bananas.
Yeah.
And his parents are some of the richest people in Utah. Like he like grew up going to the White House, like dinner with the Bushes and the Reagans,
Mm-hmm.
like real money, like billions.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a fucking polished ass human being. And he was like, one of the biggest credits I give is his parents were in MLM. Like, so
Okay.
they made all their money through MLM, different MLMs,
Okay.
like billions. And he's like, I was with my parents all the time and I got to see all of the mindset stuff. I got to see him speak on stage. I got to speak on stage. Like, I got everything poured into me that they
Got
could.
exposed to it.
He got exposed to it.
Yeah.
And I think he came out amazing.
Obviously.
Right. I mean,
28 years old, man. That's phenomenal.
Right. And like, he still had his own dark spots, but then like he acknowledged them and brought them to the forefront, talked about them, how he handled them. So, okay, I want to be able to pour into my son that way.
Mm-hmm.
To where, yeah, I'm working all the time. My son's gonna sit there and see me work.
Yeah.
Like play with their toys, and then like again, we'll take a break. I was a little bit late here because me and my son were in Kalani were out there playing with a drone.
Yeah. Okay. That's dope. Though.
Right. So I was like, okay, I was like, all right, clear out an hour. Zeno's going to Legoland with his mom for like a week.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, clear out an hour before I have to leave. Let's go play with the drone. And so I'm chasing around with the drone. I crashed the drone like 4 times, thought I broke it. But then like that's still work-life balance because like, okay, I'm there, I'm present. And then now we have to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody knows, all right, this is the way it's going to be for today.
Yeah.
Or this is the way it's going to be tomorrow. And even communicating with my significant other of like, all right, so no, like over the next, like today, here is my schedule and you can see it. This is what it's going to look like. I'm not going to be home. Really, when I come home, I just want to eat, kiss, and then I'd really just like to go to sleep.
And I think, and that's huge though, because like you said, you communicated that with your significant other, and you know everyone always says when it comes to relationships, communication is key. So it's not the amount of time that you put into your business or whatever hobby or whatever it is that you may do that takes away from your family. It's communicating that's what you're going to do. I think it's easier to live with certain things when you know up front that it's going to take place, right? What's a woman's number one thing that they always say? Well, just talk to me about it or communicate it. I can't read your mind. And so it's funny because recently me and my wife were sitting there and we were trying to think about really just our companies and just like how, you know, we go about it, what exactly you do with a certain amount of time and stuff like that. And it came up. I mean, it's not a secret, man. I'm not the most organized person. I'm not the most focused person. And so when something comes up and having 3 kids and, you know, the family and stuff like that at home, it's just when things come up, everything's important to me. Like it has to get done. And so if I'm supposed to be doing something else, but then this comes up, but there's a window to be able to do so. And that day I take care of it. When in all honesty, I could have just scheduled it, you know, for another day, another time block and handled it then. And so what we realize is that, you know what, like the biggest way for me and my wife to be to see eye and eye on kind of what I have going on is for her to handle my schedule. And so what that looks like is something comes up, I relay it to her that this needs to get done before this time or just whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And she finds a place in the schedule or in the calendar for me to be able to do those things. So now it's more like if I'm doing something else outside that schedule, it's more like, hey, you gotta stay focused. You know what I mean? If you needed to do that, you should have told me. I could have put it in the schedule for you. But this time is blocked for that. And that helps her feel needed, right? It helps her understand kind of what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis without me feeling like I'm being micromanaged.
Yeah. I mean, so she's your assistant. Like that's in a
Yeah,
nutshell. I mean,
in a nutshell, that's pretty much what she is. She's a highly paid assistant.
highly paid assistant. Shit, bro. Jay-Z for me, like he's takes care of a lot of shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what I'd do without him.
Mhm.
Like he will be gone for a couple hours, bro. Where the fuck are you? Like,
What I got going on? And honestly, like, dude, like I was super juiced about it. Like I sat there and it was like, I just finished running the marathon or something because I was just like, I felt super accomplished. Because it was her suggestion, you know what I mean? And so we've talked about it before. I'm always like, hey, well, let me check my calendar. Whenever someone asks me what I got to do, I'm like, or if I can do this, this, and this, I'm like, well, I got to put in the calendar because if it's not in the calendar, like, bro, don't ask me to do it. And if it's last minute, don't ask me to do it. So it's dope because now we get to sit down with each other. As you guys know, she come to the office with me now. Mondays and Fridays is our day to come to the office together. And we kind of look at the week and we go through the things in a week, kind of what's coming up and what's important. So then it's easy to say when things come up, okay, well, I'm done at this time. We got from this time to this time to handle whatever we need to handle. And me not feel like I'm not being productive with work because I'm no longer worrying because I know that it's built in there. So,
and you're not I hate the thought of am I leaving something off?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit. Like to where now, like I just text stuff to Jay-Z, like add it. And then I can just look at it like, okay, because I hate dead time. Like I'm trying to eliminate all dead time in my calendar, period. Like I don't even want 5 minutes. Like I want like here.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't stop until I'm done with the day. Because like the dead time, it just gives me time for what? Because like
bullshit.
For bullshit.
The bullshit. Hop on social media or something.
Right. And like
that's what it becomes. Like
that's
if there's nothing there, you're like, oh well fuck. You start scrolling and stuff. So no, I agree with you.
I'm trying to think what else what else am I settling for in my life? My fashion.
Yeah.
Fashion, fitness. I mean family, but like at the same time, I fully acknowledge the family side of it.
I mean, this would be a good time for if you guys listening and watching, drop in the comments. What is something in your life that you feel like that right now you're settling for, and how can you fix that, or why are you settling?
Yeah, and then there's other things, but then we'll talk about those later.
Yeah, for sure. What was the next one?
What battles am I choosing right now?
All of them.
That's what I said. I thought about it. I was like, man, that's like probably my biggest problem. I want all the smoke.
Yeah, I like all challenges.
Bro, I want
all of them.
I want all the smoke. I want all the bullshit. I want all the stupidity of you saying some stupid shit.
Yeah.
But they were like talking about going into the comments and replying to people. I was like, okay, well, I'm not that far.
Yeah.
Because when our one Facebook reel went viral, I was like, oh man, like, because I could go in on some people.
Yeah.
But like, I was going to choose those battles. Like, what am I going to do? Because I could do that shit for like 3 days. Like bro, there were so many comments there that I could have like been fucking going. Like, you're a broke bitch. You're fat. You still live with your mom.
Yeah.
You're cross-eyed and you got fucked up teeth. Like, why are you coming at me this way? Like,
what battles, man? I mean, that's tough because it's like, well, I mean, I really don't know kind of like with battles and stuff like that. I mean, I guess.
What do you have any love? Your pettiness level, I guess, would be like a good way to put it. Like, are there some things to where like, man, you know what? Generally, I should let that go, but I'm gonna die on that hill.
I'm gonna die on that hill. Honestly, bro, like to me, when I think battles, like I think negativity, and I think I'm in a space where I really don't hang a lot of negativity, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I guess battles that I'm choosing right now would be more in the internal battles, just from a business standpoint, I guess you could say. Battles that I'm choosing is sometimes giving in to some doubt, not trusting yourself.
That's a good one.
I think that's a battle that recently I felt like I've been choosing because I mean, it is a choice to hang to drop your head every once in a while, like not necessarily questioning what it is that I do, but questioning how efficient or how productive I am at it. Um, Questioning the skill level that you have in certain things. So, but luckily having great people around me. I mean, I've had conversations with great people to kind of get myself going in a sense of, you're not the only person obviously that goes through those type of things.
Yeah.
And are you? And one of the questions that I was asked was really like, look at yourself 4 years ago. Do you believe that you're the same person now that you were 4 years ago? When it comes to just being a human, a business owner, and this was more reference to business, really. And the answer was hell no. You know what I mean? For the most part, right? But there are some things within that I feel like skill wise that I am, and that was a great question that I was asked, because it was just like I shouldn't feel like I'm skill level. My skill level should be at the same place. You know what I mean? Because they say you're either the same. What they say, you either getting better or you're the same good.
Yeah, or you're dying.
Or you're dying, yeah.
Because other people are getting better, then
other people are getting better, and so there's the battle of self doubt at that point. Because if you feel like you're staying the same, well then shit, why am I still the same? Like why isn't that a priority for you?
What battles am I dying on right now? There's nothing that this is probably my ego. There's nothing no battles that I'm currently holding that I know actively is just nonsense, and I just continue to hold the battle.
Every battle's worth the fight.
Yeah. If I fucking choose to do it, I've decided it's worth it, and nothing else matters.
Or else I wouldn't have did it.
Or else
I'm mentally strong enough where I wouldn't do a battle. I wouldn't choose a battle that wasn't worth it.
Exactly. Even if I'm gonna fucking lose, like at that point, it's like principle.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other battles that I don't acknowledgement, I guess, of being wrong. Maybe that's a battle that I always choose, because I can't stand somebody that can't acknowledge that they're wrong. You know what I mean? Like, because to me, that's just not being. That's choosing to either not want to get better, or choosing to take any type of accountability, I guess you should say. Because I'm big on accountability. You fuck up, say you fucked up. Just tell me you fucked up. Like, don't say that it wasn't that. Like, you was just wrong. So those are just battles that I can't, especially when the facts is just all out there. If you don't want to do it, just say you don't want to do it. Don't give me the reason, well, because of that. That shit didn't just pop up. You might have known about that already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's a battle that I'm always going to just fucking, if there's a sword just sitting on the table, like, I'm diving head first onto that bitch, because I can't stand that.
That's a really good one. All right. Nothing else. I'm perfect.
They're not even battles.
They're not even battles. They're not even battles.
For somebody else, that's a battle. But for me, bro, that's a skill.
For someone else, that's a battle. For me, it's just another everyday occurrence.
I mean? It's just a day in the life of Stratton Brown.
It's another hump in the road. What am I letting in that I need to shut out?
What am I letting in that I need to shut out? I think I kind of said that. It was self-doubt. Doubting myself. Like, I think I seen someone post something today from turning in the keys or whatever to a building that they had got for their company that they never thought would be possible. You know what I mean? And they talked about, as entrepreneurs, there's always that constant battle of, honestly, just you believe, or you have so much faith in what you're doing and yourself, that you go broke plenty of times. And every time you go broke, you're like, how the fuck am I here? And you start to question, why am I here? Like, am I not that good? And you just got to trust yourself. And whether that be from, like, in our business, generating enough leads, maybe that's not really the issue, but it's converting leads, turning leads into deals, and deals into closed escrows and stuff like that. And so, you can blame it on the market. You can blame it on a lot of things, and you really just got to keep going, because you just got to trust that what you're doing is enough. It's worked, and as long as you're consistently doing it, man, at some point it has to turn. So,
but we should never trust that we're doing is enough, right?
Well, not that it's enough, but that you're still doing the right thing. Like maybe
Okay.
you need to turn up the dial in how much of it you're doing, but trust in the process. And so I think that's what was the question. It was
What are you letting in that you
what are you
shouldn't?
letting in? So that doubt, just not doubting and just really trusting that process.
For me, I mean, self-doubt is always big. At a point in time, self-hatred was a really big one,
Hmm.
right? And I feel like I've gotten over that quite a bit.
Self-hatred. When you say
Self-hatred.
self-hatred, you just didn't like yourself.
Yeah, just like I mean, because you're so unhappy with where you're at. Like
Well,
it's kind of like a crazy mindset to be in.
yeah,
To where, like, man, I'm so angry with myself because we're not where we should be or where I want to be.
yeah.
But then that doesn't bring you you don't operate in the right vibration is what I found.
No. So it's funny that you say it like that too, because I think I talked about last podcast, and it's just a different story about it, but it was with Steve Harvey, and he talked about how he had woke up. I think it was like on his 65th birthday or something like that, and he's sitting there and he's just saying like, man, I just thought I'd be a whole lot further than I am, at 65, and what his wife had told him was just more like, you got to be thankful. You got to be
Yes
thankful.
and
Well,
no.
yeah, you got to be thankful. She was like, you go out there and, go hop in one of them cars that you got in that garage and go drive around and sit your ass down somewhere is basically what she was saying, because he believed that, gratitude is a huge thing, because if you were making $50,000, year one, and you turn that around and you made $150,000 a year two, are you where you want to be? No. Our goals are always so much bigger than just that. But we got to be thankful, and we got to show some type of gratitude for the $100,000 increase that we've made. Because before you can continue to grow, you got to be grateful for where you've grown to. And I thought that was powerful, because it's just like when he talked about, went a little religious with it, with God and stuff like that, and he was just like, that's just like, well, not even that and that. He was just like, say you had a neighbor and they came over all the time for sugar, right? Always needed sugar. And you gave them sugar, you gave them sugar, you gave them sugar every day, and they never said thank you. At what point are you gonna be like, look, bro, like you're gonna have to go figure out how to get some sugar, or go buy some sugar, whatever it may be. And then you compare that to someone that's coming every day, thank you, I really appreciate it. Thank you, I really appreciate it. At one point, as the person that's given the sugar, this person's always thankful. Like I might go out and just buy him a 1 pound bag of sugar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I want to bless this person, because he's always grateful for
Yeah.
the help, in a sense. And so he's saying, you go from 50,000 to 100,000 or 150,000, and you don't show any type of gratitude to that. What's going to make someone want to continue to bless you?
Yeah.
And so that was the meaning, not
That's
necessarily.
that's a real thing as far
Yeah.
as we could go law of attraction, universe shit, but I mean that's a real thing in that respect. And I mean, I've talked about like the 5-minute journal that I use.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get like I'll do it probably like 3 or 4 days out of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wake up and I'm sitting there like, what am I grateful for?
Mm-hmm.
Because on the same podcast that we pulled this off of, he was like, dude, there's one guy in my life who was sick for 2 years and couldn't get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
And so he hypes me up every day with all his gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I walked today.
Yeah.
Right? To where
Things you take for granted.
Right. Things you take for granted. He's like, bro, I walked today.
Mm-hmm.
For 2 years I couldn't get out of my bed. Like, yeah, bro, I'm grateful for my legs.
Yeah.
One of our employees' mom just died. I'm really happy to have my parents in my life.
Yeah.
Right. But then then it kind of recenters you. But as far as the self-hatred, bro, I mean, because I feel like all entrepreneurs, and I was telling Jake this, all entrepreneurs have a really dark spot. Like, I mean, the best ones I know, like, because we're fucked up, bro.
That's what drives you.
That's what drives you.
That dark spot. And sometimes you gotta take yourself there. You know what I mean?
Bro, you gotta take yourself there. And like some people like, oh no, it doesn't work that way. Like, well, I mean, I've yet to have someone who is where I want to be who told me it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think everyone has a dark spot, but the difference between the successful people with dark spots and everyone else who has dark spots is that some people have dark spots and they sit in it. They mope around, they sit there, they got their They got their blackout curtains, closed, don't let no type of sunshine in. You know what I mean? And they stay in that same situation. They do nothing to get out of it.
No channeling of it.
No channeling of it. Whereas, when you talk about successful people having dark spots in their life, like those dark spots is what continues to drive you to do more and more and more. Like, you know what I mean? Like it fuels production, really.
Exactly.
And that's the difference.
Yeah. So I'd say, what else am I letting in? So the self-doubt, imposter, and we talked about this weekend. Shit. Imposter syndrome. And I was like, none of these, I was like, I feel like an imposter right now. Because like one of the dudes asked about imposter syndrome. I was like, dude, do you not think I'm fucking an imposter? Like I got up, I was like, yeah, we'll make like a couple $1 million this year. And then the 28-year-old dude gets up and he's like, yeah, last year we made $130 million. The dude before him he's 30 and his company's got valuated for $300 million. And they have multiple 8 figures in the bank. And he's going for 10 billion.
But is that being an imposter though? Because you really spoke on what that accomplishment was.
I spoke really on like failure, right? But like I'm getting up and speaking at an entrepreneurship conference on something to where like, geez, dude,
that other people have mastered. Not mastered.
That's the 2 people, like 3 people, because then there was another guy who sold another company for like 8 figures.
Yeah.
To where I was like, yeah, of course I feel like a fucking imposter. And I don't think it ever goes away because you're gonna be. Hopefully you're putting yourself in rooms.
You're the smallest one in the
room.
To
where they just make you feel like an imposter, and you really are. But like you're gonna get there eventually.
Yeah.
But that was my thing for that.
You're putting yourself in dark spots to fuel places. You're putting yourself in dark spots, whether it be certain rooms with other people that are at a higher level. That is considered to me a dark spot.
Yeah, bro,
it brings some type of self-doubt.
Go, bro. It takes you to a whole nother. I mean, it is so fucking uncomfortable for me.
And you could tap out right then and there. You felt uncomfortable. There's people doing it on a whole bigger scale than you're doing. You can sit in a room with your fucking blackout curtains closed and fucking tap out. But it's fuel, you know, and there's a reason why you are where you are is because you continue to put yourself in rooms that put you in dark spots, but you know how to channel it to continue to grow.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever like talked about how fucking uncomfortable these masterminds make me feel. Like so uncomfortable, like being in those rooms where you really like you truly don't belong, right? But then like the people in the room know where you are, they know what you can do, and they're gonna bring you along.
He brought you there for a reason,
right? Like you're in there for a reason, but at the same time, bro, it is really uncomfortable to be like the smallest fish.
But to put it in
nobody really talks about it.
You pay to put yourself there. Right. Like how fucking
twisted,
how twisted is that shit? You know what I mean?
Is it to where I pay to put myself in like. To where like, oh man, like I feel so uncomfortable. I'm fucking sweating.
Yeah.
Like I'm super nervous, like all these other things, but I know it's the best thing for me. But I'm it's like going and doing a workout.
But growth doesn't come from being comfortable.
No.
You know, and I think someone posted it today, actually, you know, just self-doubt, being in uncomfortable situations where you start to doubt yourself, but then you understand that in order for me to grow, I have to feel this way. If I do not feel this way, it's something wrong.
Right. And I'm not the dude who's just going to go out and be able to do it. Like I want just to get advice. So I know I'm so big on mentors because I'm not going to go and create something new. No, I'd say the hardest part with like call magicians, I can't go fucking pay someone for a blueprint like you can in real estate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we've really just come up with this shit off like the top of our head. I'm like, okay, the system does not work anymore. And then we have to tear it all apart. Put that together. Does that one work? No. All right. Tear it all apart. Put it back together. Does that one work? Right. And it's after time, to where in a lot of people are okay with that. To me, it just doesn't make sense. And it's so frustrating.
Yeah. All right. Well, so okay. It's funny you say that because as you're explaining that concept, like in my mind, I'm like, damn, we low key was like raised on some shit like that. Like when you talk about like Tetris,
Legos.
Like think
Minecraft,
about it, right?
Yeah.
Like how many times did you put the wrong piece in the wrong fucking place? You end up losing the game, but for some reason you continue to go back because you're like, I gotta get past this phase of the game. I gotta get past this. Okay, now I gotta flip it this way, put it along the sides. You know what I mean? Like it's Tetris. You know, being a business owner is like playing Tetris. You're gonna put pieces in the wrong spots plenty of times, but as you continue to just do it over and do it over and do it over, you get further and further. It never seems perfect, but you're continuing to grow and get further.
Right, that's another thing. Tetris is never perfect, right? It's hard to get that fucking 5.
Yeah.
That 5 across the bottom to where it all lined up. I got that one long one.
Yeah. But it also is thinking on your toes, right? Learning how to adjust, remember kind of where you've been, and to make changes as you go.
Yeah.
As shit gets faster. Like that's crazy. That's a hell of an analogy, man. I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the fucking back, man.
What's one more? So self-doubt is a big thing that I need to stop letting in, but I don't think it'll ever. It's healthy. Because you don't want to be ignorant.
No.
All right. I mean,
like the motherfuckers that don't like to admit that they're wrong.
Right. The motherfuckers don't like to admit that they're wrong. The dude's like, oh no, I got it all figured out, blah, blah, blah. Because and nobody talks about this enough. In entrepreneurship, nobody knows a fuck about what they're doing. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos still do not know what they're doing. Still, because they're the only ones doing it.
Yeah.
Who else is doing it?
There's no one at that level that can tell you, oh, I built a business just like that.
No, bro. You ain't fucking taking us to Mars before, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, they do not know what they're doing, and they're coming up with it along the way. And it's the same thing as adulting, dude. Like, you think everybody has it fucking figured out.
Yeah.
Nobody has it fucking figured out. And then nobody talks about, like, hey, yeah, no, I actually really struggle with alcoholism. Or, hey, you know what? I really have problems at home. I have this problem. I have this problem. I have this problem. Nobody has it figured out.
But the first step to acknowledging that you the first step to growing is acknowledging your problems.
Yeah.
So is acknowledging that you got a drinking problem, acknowledging that you have you battle with self-doubt, all those things. So,
and no, I do not have a drinking problem. I have a bender problem. I go on the quarterly bender.
On the podcast, he did say 2 benders a year.
So, he said 2.
Yeah, you probably got more, but he's saying to live a life like with no benders in there.
I mean, I think 1 a quarter is good. I think one bender a quarter is good.
I got exhausted just thinking about what that entails.
One bender a quarter is like I feel like I reset. I get out all of my demon energy, for like a lack of better words. Me just being a degenerate. Like, okay, all right, now I can go.
You get that hangover out the way.
All right,
let's get that. Man, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go. I wish I could go out there and just have some fun like that, let loose.
Right, and then you go do that shit. Yourself.
Then you go do that shit. You're like, man, what the fuck do I continue to do that, man? Like, shit. You know what I mean? Like,
you check yourself. That's a good.
Take you a week to battle back, bro. You're like, man, I ain't doing that shit again.
Right. But okay, so 1 to 4, I think, is healthy, at least where I'm at in my life.
Okay.
At a point in time, I was talking to the dude whose company is worth $300 million. He has some investors on his cap table. So like people who've invested who are all billionaires. He was like, bro, at this point in their life, you can only raise money from you get really good money from January to March. And then it's like sporadic throughout then. And then after October, nobody invests any money. And everybody just goes and skis. Because they're all billionaires, right? And like they don't want, and they've all come to a truce because they don't want to miss the next Uber. So all their life is after fucking October is benders.
But why after October?
That's because holidays.
So nobody creates anything in the holidays?
Well, they just don't invest after the holidays. And they're always by their phones because they don't want to miss out on the next opportunity. Like imagine if you had a chance to invest in Airbnb's seed round and you put in $500,000.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
And so they don't want to miss that.
Okay.
All right. Next question. Am I surrounding myself with the right people, and who are the 5 most people I'm actually spending time with right
now? The 5 most people that I spend the most time with?
Yeah.
Obviously my wife.
Your wife and kids count as one person.
Okay, so my wife and kids. My aunt and uncle. We live with them now. But we always spent a lot of time with them because they help us with our business too, and they help us with our kids. You, Jake, you and Jake when we're here once a week, man, and then my business partners, Cletus and Aaron on flips.
Who else should be in there that's not?
My parents, my siblings, and just more people doing more than what I'm doing.
I feel that. Who am I spending? So obviously, my beautiful girlfriend, our crazy son. I talk to my dad every day.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to my dad like once a day for like anywhere from like 5 to 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? I mean, Jake. I've been spending a lot of time with Jake lately. You. I talked to Dino. Because I don't even have like a 5, dude. Like, because I just,
Mm-hmm.
well, I do owe Glenna. Like, I talk to Glenna every day.
But is that talking to, or is that being around, like physically being, like a physical being?
I mean, everything I do is virtual, so it's not like I'm around. Like, I'm just on the phone all fucking day. So,
But can we say that that's like enough?
and who else would I say? I'm at my cigar lounge. Would be
Okay.
the other thing, to where like I'm around different older dudes who are somewhat seasoned in business, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why I like going over there. I get to again pick their brain for no money.
Yeah.
Just fucking smoke a cigar and like talk to them about shit.
Yeah.
So I would say I'll use that as a person because
Mm-hmm.
I get a different mix of people.
Yeah. So but you're around a good flow, a good mix of people.
Yeah, to where like I can go there and I can still relax, but I still get intellectually stimulated.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's like the other person. So I got Kalani and Zeno. I got you, Jake, dudes in my cigar lounge, and then who else am I consistently around?
I mean, those at your meetup. I mean, you got your weekly meetup.
I mean, that's just like lunch. It's
Yeah.
but it rotates. Like I don't
Yeah.
want the same people every time. I'm trying to think of like on a consistent basis.
Bro, it's not that many people.
I mean, you're fucking busy. Like people don't
Yeah.
really understand how busy you really get. But that's why I have like the masterminds.
So is that something? Would you say that that's something that we've settled in life with?
I'd think no, because it's phone calls for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's phone calls with those people.
But we also know that personal interaction and that person and actually being there, physically being there, like we get that we got to surround ourselves with great people. Are we not intentional enough with surrounding ourselves with those that help us grow from a physical and a personal standpoint, to be honest with you? Because I think I've had a conversation with someone where I said, you know what, like I really value like our friendship, but a lot of the times that we talk, it's really strictly about business. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like I've taken enough time to really get to know you on a personal level, even though I respect you so much.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we were actually out to me and my wife's anniversary was Saturday. And it was also Cletus's birthday.
Yeah.
And so me and my wife did a staycation. Right, we booked a hotel here locally to make sure we spent enough time, spend some time with each other, but also want to make sure we're also nurturing a relationship that's important to us. And so we went to the birthday dinner or whatever with Cletus. Well, we met at a job site, and we really worked, to be honest with you. But again, we love what we do, and we went out to lunch. And at one point, Cletus had asked us about something, and he was just like, "Well," he was like, more about, I don't know if it was about my parents or it was something of that aspect. And he was just like I just want to know like more about you, because we always talk about his work,
Exactly.
And that's, you sit back and you really evaluate that, and you're just like, man, because it's like when you love what you do, it don't ever feel like work, especially when you surround yourself with great people who feel the same way about work. Unintentionally, you're always talking about work because it's a passion of yours.
Exactly.
And so yeah.
My fifth person, like I am consistently talking to, let's just say like my group.
Okay.
On like, because I have like my brothers, I've got like, so we got like Los, I've got Mark, I've got people in the DM family, people in the Storage Rebellion, my boy Michael Ray. Like, so like, I have all those people who either are calling me or I'm calling them for like 5 minutes, check on them, see how things are going, how can I help you? And that was like, that's my fifth.
Okay.
But like that's the reason like why I'm considering moving though. Is so I can get more people, but at the same time
But everyone's not located in the same area
Yeah,
either.
everyone's not located in
So
the
so at
same
that
area.
point, it's like, okay, well, where do you go? Do you go back home?
I wouldn't go back home. I really like Texas.
Who's in Texas?
I just Dallas. I have a lot of friends in Dallas.
Okay, I was about to say, would it be the same shit as like being here?
No, and Dallas is a little more active.
Okay.
But yeah, that is what I'd say it is. Like the fifth one is like because I have people in my own mastermind, I'm in other masterminds, and then I'm reaching out to friends. My friends are reaching out to me to where like sporadically throughout the week, I'll go have like random text messages, random conversations of what's going on, and that's the fifth. But there's no like consistent person, so I probably need to change that.
So you need to get around probably more people. Hey, bro, I've been thinking about picking up golf. You know what I mean? We go once a year for my for my wife's grandfather because he loves golf, and so we go every year. Thanksgiving morning, all the men we go golfing.
You ain't, bro, go play some football like a man.
I don't want to play no fucking football, bro.
Come on, bro, come play in a turkey bowl,
bro. I'm trying to go play some golf where there's million and billionaires and get good and start whooping their ass.
Man, I'm gonna go
and
fuck
talk
a billionaire
about
up in
ideas
the turkey bowl
get,
like a man.
A billionaire?
Like a man.
Niggas ain't playing for turkey bowl, bro.
Yeah, they're gonna try to.
No, they're not.
They're gonna try to. They're gonna try to.
You know what I mean? So I was actually talking about that with one of my buddies, and it was funny how that conversation came up. He was just like, "Man, I've been thinking about picking up golf. Like, let's go golfing." He's like, "Oh, my dad tell me all the time, like, boy, you think you got some money now? Wait till you start, golfing and you start, rubbing shoulders with the right people. Because think about the people that golf. To be honest with you,
yeah,
I'm not saying I'm gonna do this shit every day, but there's some wealthy people that golf every day because
my only pushback is like, bro, they're not at a point to like they're at a different point in life.
That's fine,
but like they can sacrifice 6 hours of their day.
So here's the thing:
like,
we're not sacrificing it all the time. The idea is to do something consistently to where you're recognized at wherever it is that you're golfing. You know what this person golfs with? Maybe it's once a month. Maybe it's once a week. This person twice a month. This person's golfing. What do you do that allows you to come golf twice a month? You may not be here every day golfing, but now I'm interested in what it is that you do that allows you to be able to come golf twice a month.
It gives me too much fucking anxiety.
What?
Golfing. Like I cannot. I cannot not work for 6 hours and fucking golf unless I'm doing it. Unless it's an actual business meeting.
You go early. It could be a business meeting. No one said it couldn't be.
I mean, but like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Until like I have it set up that way. So like Pineda, I think Pineda charges $5,000
to golf with him.
To golf with him, and like he has it set up every Friday. So like,
think about that,
right?
But think about now you get 6 hours of Ryan Pineda's time.
Oh, bro, and it's 100% worth it. Like, so I'd pay to go golf with Ryan Pineda, but like people would have to pay me to go golf with them because like I'm not the people. So the people who golf, I'll come into my fucking cigar lounge anyway. So I you know what I'm saying? I get the same access to them.
But are they the same people that you guys? Because you're being exposed to a different group of people essentially. But I'm saying like if we had like a group of like just our local investors, right? Maybe it's because we don't spend enough time around each other, just really just brainstorming, throwing our shit at walls and like, I fuck with that. Like, you know what I mean? It's always at maybe a real estate meetup or, you know what I mean? It's always
it would be good to make a golf day.
But it's just more like a golf day where, you know what? Some of us, we get just like the dinner that we had at Limelight, right? A group of us get together, you know what I mean? Once a month we go golf. You know what I mean? And we just kind of what's going on in your business. How's everything going with, at home? How's your kids? Like, I feel like shit comes up from that and we get to spend good time in a sense with each other without having to always feel like, you know what, let me pick up the phone and call this person just to check in with them. Because then it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It feels like it's just more like it's not so authentic sometimes because the time it pops in your mind is like, fuck, I could have just asked so-and-so about it. Like, you know what I mean? At least we know, like, there's that point in time where, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be able to shoot all that shit out, catch up, whatever questions we may have for each other, and just be able to get that stuff out like that.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we'll do. I'll throw a golf tournament.
Can we come up with like a golf tournament? Like
a charity golf tournament.
Well, I kind of wanted to be a little bit more like
intimate.
Yeah.
Intimate with like everybody else that we have.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that'd be something.
We need to do another dinner. I know Mondo was gonna throw one. I'm just waiting on him to finish that up.
Yeah, it's about time. The last one was last year.
The last one was 2 years ago.
No, it wasn't. At Limelight?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. But I want to do another one of those. So this year, well, really in the next couple months, I want to throw my own charity event and then do another like actual investor dinner to where we can get us all together again. Because I liked that, and I'd want it to be a little bit more active though, instead of like us just like kind of like, because you get pigeonholed next to the person
because the
you're
table's
with.
so big, and you know we got so many fucking good people there.
Yeah,
you want to catch up with everybody.
Yeah,
but just sitting at a table talking about it, or you know, trying to work your way around it, or talking over somebody. But that's why I thought golf is dope.
Yeah,
because we're all kind of just intertwined with each other.
Oh, we did investor paintball one time, and that was really fun.
I don't want to do paintball.
You don't want to do paintball?
No, I'm not trying to get hit with a paintball.
Okay. I'll think of something. Well, think of something too.
For sure. Well,
and then and then you just, I mean, throw it in the group chat, and we have it together. The only thing is now that some people get butthurt that they get left out.
So what was the next question you had? What battles are you choosing every day?
What battles are you choosing every day? Oh, in what ways am I in my own way?
In what ways am I in my own way? My attention span, dog. I think that's how I get in my own way. Is the lack of an intentional like time or focused time. I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing lead follow-up, you know, from 2 to 4, really making it 2 to 4 and not 3 to 4 or 2:30 to 4. Like just really being making that like non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I could say like it's non-negotiable, but you try to say, you know, but life happens. And I one thing that I do know and it has always shown to me in life is when you truly make something a non-negotiable,
it happens.
Other people respect it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so really trying to, I think that's where I get in my own way, is trying to have flexibility for a lot of things, or be available for a lot of things, or for a lot of people sometimes, that I get in my own way because I'm not doing the things that I need to be doing or I should be doing.
What ways am I getting my own way? I'd say attention span and then lack of obsession.
Because what got you to where you
obsession.
at? Obsession.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think obsession is the most power, and like people always, and this is me like hearing something and then like, yeah, that's a really good point, and then fucking saying it again. Like it's not like I came up with this thought on my own.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But like people always say like, no, bro, like the reason you are is where you are is because you were obsessed with it, like nothing else.
Yeah,
like you got obsessed with it. Like whatever you were good at, you were at a point in time obsessed with it.
Yeah,
like everything that is worthwhile, you need to be obsessed with it if you want to actually make a dent in it. So because there's so many in everything, there's so many people battling for that one thing to where if you aren't obsessed, then you're wasting your time anyways.
Yeah.
To where I'd say my lack of obsession in several different areas of my life is holding me back and not allowing myself to obsess and having too many things to obsess about.
And so let's just say every year I get to a point where I like go broke probably like twice, 2 or 3 times a year. And when I say go broke, it's not because like it's like a heavy investment here, and like
it's cash flow.
It's cash flow. It's like looking down at your shit and being like, damn, like where is it coming from? You know what I mean? And every time I get to that point, again, that's the dark spot of entrepreneurship. Every time I get down to that spot, I can almost 100% guarantee that it's always because of a lack of obsession.
It's a lack of obsession, bro.
Like, you know what I mean? It's a comfort zone. It's oh, okay, it'll happen, right? Maybe sometimes being ignorant to the sense of too much faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That shit just happens without you doing shit. You know what I mean? And so, I think obsession that's a huge one, man. That's 100%, because every time I can, and I think it is the faith in yourself that, you know what, when shit starts to get bad, like I know that I can fucking
but
make shit happen. But that's not a good way to do business.
That's not. And
Mhm.
so, and again, we can span this across all different entrepreneurs, the best entrepreneurs, even though they may neglect other things, the people who build the biggest things are the ones who can obsess over something 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
They will get the farthest.
So let's talk about Jason, right? He's someone that I would say has like an obsession, but I think his obsession is with consistency. So like he has a healthy obsession of consistently doing the little things that continues to push him forward.
Well, I mean, obsession with consistency, I guess so. I mean, I'd see it as like now, like obsessed with your business or obsessed with something being so good that like nothing else matters to where you can truly work until 3 a.m. And this is probably a fallacy in my head to where you can work until 3 a.m. and like you're obsessed about it and the shit's going to get done and it doesn't even feel like that anymore. Because like we are that obsessed with it happening, or I'm that obsessed with getting in shape, or like everything boils down to your level of obsession with what you want.
So do you see like, because those are two different levels of obsession, because one takes a tremendous amount of your time.
What?
The obsession of just full throttle, just going, right? Because when we get obsessed with something, we do it night and day, right?
I want to be obsessed with like 5 things and only 5
And
things.
so that's where I say the consistency of the obsession with the consistency of doing the small things. So like whether that be writing down your goals, meeting with your team, and consistently like marketing, whatever that may be. But like, you know, I may not work as long, but one thing that's a non-negotiable are these 3 things. I'm obsessed with these 3 tasks. And as long as I'm obsessed with these 3 tasks, shit can never go wrong. And even when it does go wrong, it's not for long because I consistently do those. So I'm consistently laying bricks.
And I think, and this is another point I heard. He was like, bro, we want to know what the biggest thing that holds most people back is they truly never get to be obsessed about anything in their life.
Yeah. You don't care enough.
Like you don't care enough.
Yeah.
To where, okay, like I want to be, so 3 to 5 obsessions. Number 1 would be family. Number 2 would be fitness. And then faith and mindset. And then my business.
Yeah.
And then it would only be, I'm not a big fan of, so like the dudes who say we have 30 different businesses and you're doing 8 figures, but how many 8 figures is one thing. I don't think it leaves enough room for enough obsession over the one thing that's like that's going to push it forward.
But maybe the obsession is just building businesses.
I use this example. Elon Musk has 2 businesses. Jeff Bezos has 1.
So what's the point?
So why would I have 40? You know, like you can only put in so much energy and you can only develop so like we have the 10,000 hour rule, right? To where you have to develop a skill set of like an expert in order to make that business really good, right?
You have to have
the knowledge compounds on itself over time exponentially. You cannot do that over 30 different things.
But what if your obsession is building a team?
Then I would
you know what I'm saying?
Be paid like you know what I'm saying, for building a team. Because like,
but you got, but if they're your businesses though, you have 30 businesses that you've built teams for. Yeah, you could have scaled this company at a whole greater level and made it.
Still have high level problem solving that can only take up so much. Like, so if we have 30 different businesses, there's, let's say 20 of them are fucking redheaded stepchilds, and we could probably cut them off right now. It doesn't matter. But then if we're the true visionary and high level thinker, and we have 30 different businesses, we're kicking down 30 different doors at a time to where like I really believe in like the one thing to where like you're still solving problems in your head subconsciously. Like when you're in your shower and that thing clicks, like that's what we're going to implement. That's what we're going to do. And that's the idea is like, okay, now we're past that. How do we get past that? When I'm trying to solve all 10 of those at the same time, it gets really hard. And then like, let's say, so in our companies, we have our media company, we have our virtual assistant company, we have our real estate company, we have our self-storage company, and we have our education company. So let's say we have 5. For each one of those companies, I have to learn a brand new skill and start to implement that thing. And yes, I can hire on teammates to do it, but still my job is to be the high level problem solver that's only solving one problem at a time.
Until you hire that person to do so.
Okay. But then at what point in time does the revenue on that company make sense to replace yourself? So in order to replace me would take a lot of money. to where I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying?
No, I 100% get what you're saying. And we're talking about like more of something that you're obsessed with. And again, I said, like, if you're obsessed with building a business or building businesses in general, but you will understand that you don't want the longevity in being in that business for that long, and you've gone in with that expertise of understanding that I don't plan to be having those high level thoughts on this particular business. I just want the structure of the business because I know that it formed because I've done it plenty of times. So now you continue to, your niche is the fact that you're great at starting a company, putting systems in place and leaving it. And that's what you're charging people for. I'm a master at startups and getting it running without you having to be in it. And now that's what I'm going to start charging people for. And that's what I'm going to start coaching in. And so that is your high level thinking to be in that area.
It's still vertically integrated though. You know, like, because again, I'm a big fan of like very specified knowledge.
Specified knowledge in starting a company and putting things in place.
Because if you're going to approach like the 30 different things,
mm-hmm.
I would rather approach the investing in 30 different things. You know what I'm saying? To where like if you want to really apply that rule and law, like, okay, now we have X amount of money. I went and, as these other investors who I was talking about earlier today, they go place 100,000 to several $1 million bets over across 30 different companies. One of them will work out. That one that works out will 50x their money, and the rest of them die off.
Okay. So if we talked about, say, like, let's use Airbnb, right? And we talk about managing portfolios, and you build a portfolio of homes or listings that you're managing under this property management, right? But they're short-term rentals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that we do know is that people are they're building these portfolios of like 100, 40 to 100 properties, and they're selling them for a few $1 million,
mm-hmm.
right? Now, your skill is that you've learned how to build short-term rental portfolios and sell that company as a package.
Yeah.
Right. So then what prevents you from just going ahead and doing that 30 more times? Because the chunks are so much bigger by selling that company.
It's still, if that's your skill. That's a buy and a sell, and it's a cycle. Mm-hmm. It's not 30 simultaneously.
Yes, I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a buy.
You're not holding on to it. You're not building this one and then going to go, build this one to 100. Then you start another company. You built that one to 100, and now you're running, 200 properties under two different umbrellas. But you have no end goal to what you're doing.
Though.
But you have no end goal to what you're doing with it. You just have 30 different property management companies with 100 in a portfolio, but you just continue to build more. Like, at what point are you going to start to?
Right. And sell them off. And you're talking about like, yeah, if we stayed in Airbnb, I don't see that as multiple different businesses. I'm taking this as a true.
That's specified. That's more of a specified knowledge. I get what you're saying. You're an expert in building portfolio,
right?
Property management.
Where we can even take Hormozy. Hormozy's like, bro, I'm really good at service businesses that are info marketer, like that are info based. Like if we have that, like that is a skill that I've developed over time that I know I can leverage. And at this point, he has all of that knowledge that he can apply to that. It may be a little bit broader now.
Yeah.
But then all he's doing is investing and solving the same problem over and over again. And it's not a new problem that is arising. Right. Because the one new problem is him. How do I get this whole fund to the next level? Not how to, you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Like
yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's a lot different.
It's still one business.
It's still one business.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
It's a capital allocation.
It's not fucking, yeah. I get what you're saying. You're not fucking doing an MLM. And then you're doing crypto over here, and then you're doing freaking jet skis over here.
Exactly. Like I had one.
Like, fuck, what are you good at, bro? Like, what exactly?
Are you good
at? Yeah.
I had a shout out Lalo. He was like, bro, you should start a life. Like he posted, you should start a life insurance business. And I was just like, well, he said Bradley's doing it. Why don't you? I was like, because you can only build so many boats at the same time. Mm-hmm. He was like, well, why don't you just have two boats? So I was like, well, what vehicle's faster? Why does it fucking matter? Like, what's the goal?
Yeah.
Like my goal is to get across the fucking lake. My goal is not to get across the lake and forge
on two boats.
Yeah. So that's like an simpleton way to put it. Like my goal is to get across the fucking lake. My goal is not to get across the lake on a boat with two boats. Your goal may be get across the lake on a dope ass boat. Mm-hmm. Cool. But like know the goal. Mm-hmm. I just know for most people, your goal is to get across the lake.
Yeah.
So your goal is more money. Your goal is,
and that's why when people bring other opportunities to you and they're just like, hey, you want to do this, you want to do that, hey, have you thought about doing this and that? And I'm quick to just be like, like, no disrespect, but like it seems dope, but like I'm just not interested. And they're just like, well, I don't get it, bro. If I know that the number one problem that I have is being able to stay focused, why would I start building all these different boats? Because I know that none of them will ever get finished. I know that I need to focus on this boat.
Right,
and then when I get this one across the finish line, maybe I'll take a look at this one. But until this one is done,
exactly,
can't do that.
We got any comments, dude? You check. Are we streaming this, Jake? Do we have any comments? No.
Perfect.
Y'all some fucking haters.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Thank you guys for joining us. Obviously, like, share, subscribe as we post stuff on our social media. Feel free to share it with anyone that you feel like will get any type of value from it. Again, we only grow by you guys helping us out. We can continue to put our content out there. We don't advertise it. We don't do anything like that. So the only how we're going to get in front of the most people as possible is if you guys help us out and share our stuff onto your stories and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
Anything else?
That's all I got to do.
That's all we got, man. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in to the Free Agent Real Estate Investing Podcast. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review. If you would like to stay in touch with Stratton and myself, follow us on Instagram. And please be sure to subscribe to our Free Agent REI Podcast YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up.